Hi, I'm David Hankins,
I'm Paul Hankins.
and we're two of the co-creators of everyone's favorite comic book, Power Squared. Hoping everyone had a happy holiday. As you can see behind us, our Christmas tree. So this week we wanted to mention that we're experimenting with a new microphone. So hopefully we'll be clearer, right? Isn't that the goal?
Yeah. So if there are any audio problems, that's why.
Right. So bear with us. Talk a little bit this week about what's going on with the comic book. And even though it's the holidays, there is still stuff going on. We sent the final script, or what we think is the final script, to the artist this past week, and she seemed to like it, which is good, as we'll probably be living with it for most of next year. It's a 3-issue story arc called What's in a Name. At least that's what it's called now.
Yeah.
Things can change. So she has actually started sending us some, there's a new character we'll talk about when we get around to, later. But there's a new character we're introducing, and she's done some character sketches for that. So that's kind of exciting to sort of, add new people as we go and see them kind of come to life. Reflect a little bit on this past year. We have done nearly 4 issues of Power Squared. We actually published 3, 4, and 5, which were the previous creative team. And those were out on Comixology, and they're still there with the first 2 in case anybody wants to buy them.
Link in description.
Right. And so feel free. So next year, I'm going to be sending off 6 and 7 soon after the beginning of the new year to Comixology to start that process to get those published. I'm going to try to contact some people that, gave us, did interviews or reviews or previews and see if they'd be willing to kind of, do something this time around. And we're still considering, or we will be kickstarting, even though we're starting issue 10 is already in the works, we'll be kickstarting that to hopefully get some crowdfunding and hopefully some more publicity for the comic book. So look for that coming out probably in February. And we're still did some work on trying to come up with sort of covers, back covers for the issues, because we're still interested in sort of doing print on demand, so that in case you don't want a digital copy, you could order a physical copy and read that. So we're trying to add that to the ways of buying Power Squared, and really have to have a cover on the back. You can't just end it like a digital comic does. So we're working on those. So that's kind of a big step if we can pull that off. I think we can. So that's kind of a real quick summation of the year. We started doing these videos. We're again on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. And we have our own websites, and all that's in the description if you want to follow us on any of those platforms, including this one. We of course encourage you to. We were going to talk this week about more characters and kind of their origin. And this week is going to be Kirby, Steve, and Don, who are Marty and Eli's friends at school. So you want to talk about how he came up with Kirby, Steve, and Don?
Well, we came up with Kirby Steve and Don because I guess they're sort of loosely based on friends that we had in high school. And their names come from Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and Don Figueroa. The last one is a Transformers artist.
As one of our co-creators is I'd say large Transformers fan.
Yeah.
Anything Transformers is okay. So we were trying to, as tip our hat to great comic book artists and storytellers from the past by naming them those names, right?
Yeah.
So, and they're basically Kirby, Steve, and Don were friends from high school that are going to the same community college. And so, Marty and Eli are sort of the, new kids because they're from out of town going there. So they're immediate. The people they talk to the most on a daily basis would be their three friends that they meet at the student union coffee shop and to sort of hash out the day. And it's through, talking with them that they actually meet, Jennifer and, other things will happen. And the issue that we're going to put out in January, those two issues actually deal with Kirby. So he'll become a little bit more of a player in the next two issues that will come out hopefully soon next year. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So on the subject of comic books, the last couple of weeks we've been reviewing comic book movies that we've seen in the theaters, and this week we saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
And what do you think?
I thought it was great. Had a kind of refreshing take on Spider-Man. It was the first animated Spider-Man movie. And also the first one to have Miles Morales as the protagonist instead of just Peter Parker. So it's kind of an interesting change of pace. The art style is also really unique, I thought. Has trying to figure out how to describe it.
Well, it's sort of as anyone has read Marvel and Spider-Man, there are a lot of universes out there, and this is sort of bringing several of them, not all of them, right, together,
just a handful,
into a story, and with a common, they now have a common villain or whatever, and it's it was really well done, and they bring in sort of the art styles of those different comic book universes into this one, so they're kind of, you see them kind of drawn in a style that they were have been seen in before. And
for example, Spider-Ham or Peter Parker is kind of more cartoony in his style, and he also uses more cartoony physics,
right? And what is it, Spider-Man Noir, or he sort of
the Spider-Man of Spider-Man Noir,
right? Is sort of a lot of black and white, like he's an old film noir movie, which is kind of cool, and it made me want to read that universe, but those books are now like way expensive, so be putting that off for a while. Hopefully after the hubbub they'll come back down and be more earthbound pricing. But it was a good experience. We were, when we saw the previews in the theaters, I was like, oh, we want to see that, so that was kind of cool. It came out and was actually as good or better than the trailer was, because the trailer was really good. So I would recommend people go see that if they like Spider-Man and Marvel movies. Though it's not part of the MCEU, right?
It's not part of the MCU.
Okay. It is not.
It's not.
All right. So it's sort of a standalone story, but very well done. And it's nice to see Sony Animations actually make a good movie.
For once.
Which they haven't been doing. And I used to work at Sony, so it's okay for me to say that. Anyway, so I think that's really about all for this week, except to invite you once again to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell so you get notifications of when we put up new videos, which are about once a week on Sundays. And to follow us on the other social media that's out there, again, in the description. And to also mention that if we get 5 likes, not just 5 views, but 5 likes, we'll bring Trevor into the show. And that would be kind of a cool thing. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I think you kind of
Covered everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of stepped on your lines there. Anyway, so until next week, I'm David Hankins,
and I'm Paul Hankins.
and it's been a week in Power Squared.